My name is Alexis Lara, and our Capstone project is a motion sensor radar by Kevin Lee, Alexis Lara, Tesfa Zenabeh, and Josh Mears, Whitaker College of Engineering, ECE 1304. So we're going to go through the program and design specification. Programming first. We started off the program by setting a for loop with an index of 41 trial runs. In that for loop, we nested two more for loops to control the servo, and then we took that data from the sensor and we controlled the RGB. Now going to the specifications, we use an ultrasonic sensor to determine the distance between the sensor and an object. We then attach that sensor to a servo so we can get a 0 to 180 degrees and vice versa motion. And then we converted that data to control the RGB LED. Now speaking about our proposal, our initial proposal was to use an RGB LED and using a sound sensor to synchronize them, but the Matlab library was unusable, so we revised our project. Instead, we implemented the same LED, but we used an ultrasonic sensor to detect motion.
This is Tesfa Zenabeh, and I'll be going through the block diagram. This is just a set of inputs and outputs going through the microcontroller and back. And the first output we see is to the servo. The Arduino provides both data and power to the servo. And the second output we see is to the motion sensor. The Arduino provides power to the motion sensor, and the motion sensor will provide the output for the LED, which will serve as an input. So the LED will be, depending upon the distance, the LED will change. Then the LED will give it back to the Arduino, so everything can be processed, and everything is getting powered by an external battery, which you can see in the left corner. This is our code, and we started by the object of Arduino, and we labeled the library for the sensor and the servo. And we connected the servo to the pin 9, and we connected the sensor trigger pin to D12 and the echo pin to D13. Then we started by a big for loop that goes from 0 to 40, just to have a 41 trials. Then we nested two for loops in it to control the servo going from 0 to 1, which is 0 to 80, then going back from 180 to 0. Then within those, we installed the if statement so that the sensor data is less than 4, it will yield a red light. If it is greater than 20, it will yield a green light, and anything between will yield a blue light.
This is Kevin, and this is going to be our demo video. In our test run, we set it up 3 instances where we can determine the 3 types of distances. In this first one, you can tell that when the object's really close under 4 inches, it becomes red. When it's in the middle, it will become blue to represent the distance between 4 and 20 inches. And then you can tell it turns green once there's no objects further than 20 inches. And then also it goes back to its original position. While we were conducting our project, we found out that we can use our project in many other instances. In this case, we connected our motion sensor to an RC cart. And so we set up the code so that when the distance becomes less than 4 inches, the RC car stops. As you can tell, it does.
This is Josh with the custom materials. We started with the Arduino Uno starter kit. With all the materials that we used in that for our main project, it was $30. But with the RC car and the MOSFET, the total came out to $44.57. And for the novelty, is the security is needed in today's society, with security companies charging a recurring payment of $30 and also the add-ons for the installation fee and updates. Our project will cut down the payments by also being more secure and not having contracts that companies can cut through. This is a one-time installation, but it's not one-time installation, but more flexible because it can be installed in multiple places in different areas that are needed. And for our references, we use the Matlab library HCS R04, prepared by MathWorks Matlab hardware team. MOSFET data sheet created by Vishay Siliconics. YouTube video titled How to Connect DC Motor to Arduino. And we also gained help from tutor Jonathan Amaya.